We discussed about list. Now let's talk about tuple. So tuple is just like list, a data structure or a collection of data. Uh, they are created by using the round bracket. You note the round brackets here. Tuples are ordered, which means they have a sequence. They're indexed, again coming from the ordered, like they have a position number 0, 1, 2, 3 position. Uh, they're unchangeable or immutable. This is very important. Tuples are immutable or unchangeable, which means you cannot change a tuple. They're heterogeneous, as you can see here, and you can have a text item in a tuple as well as a numeric field. So it's heterogeneous, and it allows duplicates. It's almost similar to list, but these are number one, immutable in nature and have fixed length. They take lesser memory as compared to list, and they're faster to access as compared to list, right? So you would use tuple if you do not want a collection to change in the code. So basically, tuple provide a way to create a collection of data which you do not want to change in the code, right? Uh, so when I say immutable, so that's why tuple don't have features like remove or pop or to change the construct of the tuple, unlike list. And then we already said they are indexed, which means the items can be sliced or accessed using the position or the index position. So let's jump to the code now, and you'll see here we have defined few features of tuple. So number one is this is how you construct a tuple. So this is how you construct a tuple. We also call it as packing a tuple. So here I have a tuple which has within the round brackets three colors, red, black, and yellow. I can access each element by usual slicing, the way we did in list. Just use a square bracket after the name of the tuple. So tuple name, square bracket, and then position. So if I want the element at position 1, I'll write it like this. If I want all the elements from 0 up till let's say 2, I'll write it like this, right? Slice, just remember slicing. Also, please don't get confused. These square brackets are for slicing, whereas these round bracket here are for defining the tuple. And obviously this round bracket is for the print statement. That is something different. So for slicing, we'll always use square bracket. So for taking out the first element from this tuple, I'll use as shown in line number 4, and then I'm printing it also over here, right? So if you see, I get this tuple, right? Red, black, and yellow at indexes in this index are 0, 1, 2, and if I want to print in tuple at position 1, so 0 and 1 is black, so I get a black as print statement. Then we can also get length of a tuple, just like in list. We just use the len statement, and it gives you the length of the tuple over here. The length is 3, so I'm using len and the tuple name, and then I get the length. Just like list, we can also use negative indexing. So in this list, if I run this in this tuple, sorry, if I use the tuple name and then square bracket, again square bracket for slicing, and -1, so I get the last element, which is yellow. We can also check if an element exists in a tuple by just using the tuple name and the in command. So for example, I'd say for color in tuple, so it gives me it. I can say I can run through each element in the tuple, right? So basically we can check if item exists, or in other words, we can also loop through the elements, right? So if I use the if command, I can use the check if let's say red in my tuple, then I can say if yes, then I say print exists, else I'll say it does not exist, right? So this way I can frame my code, right? But for the time being, I'm just skipping this one. So let's talk about looping through the tuple. So same like list, I can say for the element, I'm naming the element as color in my tuple, and then print color. So it loops through the elements of the tuple, and I can, in this case, I'm running it line by line. So I'll get the elements by looping through each element, right? I can also join tuples. For example, in this case, I'm having a tuple like this, another tuple like this. So I can join this tuple by just using the plus symbol in between the tuple names, tuple 1 and tuple 2, and use a plus symbol, and I just get a new tuple, which is tuple 3 out of this, right? Let's see what it does. So if I run these three, I get a new tuple, tuple 3, which is nothing but a combination of these tuple. So the new tuple gets added at the end. So basically, I'm not changing an existing tuple, but I'm creating a new tuple using two tuples, right? Now we discussed that we cannot change a tuple, right? It's immutable. So if we want to change the tuple, then there's a way around to do that. So basically, what you do is you first convert the tuple into a list. Then we know a list can be changed or lists are mutable. So this change list we can do whatever we want to change, and then convert that list back to a tuple. So here are the steps involved. This is a tuple, right? So I have a tuple with these elements. I convert this tuple to a list, and I call that list as convert to list. And I use the list command to convert a tuple. So this is the tuple name. You use the list command, list bracket start, name of the tuple, and bracket close. So this basically, if you see, uh, this is your tuple, right? The original tuple, and this is the tuple converted to a list, right? Same thing. So you'll see this one is a list, tuple converted to a list, and this was the original tuple. So now my tuple elements are converted to a list. I can do whatever changes I want to do. Let's say in this case, I want to change the 0th element of the list to XYZ. So basically, I convert this. So now my converted list has XYZ at the first position. Previously, it was this name. And then I convert this changed list to tuple by using the tuple keyword. So I write tuple, the keyword is tuple, bracket start, and the name of the list. This converts the list back to tuple. So if I now run this, so I get the new tuple, the tuple data, which is this one, converted back to tuple, and this, you see, the first element is now XYZ. Previously it was this one, right? So this way I can change a tuple using a way around, though there is no direct way to do that, right? And finally, in tuple, if you have to define a single element, you need to define the tuple the way we just did, but with a comma at the end. Because if you don't use this comma, and if you try to run this code, let's see, single tuple, single element, I'm just having one element here. So you'll see that this tuple here is type str, which is string, right? It is not converting it into a tuple. But if I put a comma here, and now if I try to run it, sorry, I have to put a comma here and then try to run it. So you'll see now this is a tuple and not a string, right? So this is how you define a single item tuple. So this is all about tuple. We will cover the next data structure in the next session. Thank you.